Fireside with me today with the Sajdah Saturday morning coffee talks, where we talk about life, love, and business. And today we're going to just talk about preservation and the importance of preservation and why preservation means so much to us as a people and as a community, and really serves as a spiritual tool for taking our lives to that very next level. So we're going to listen to a song, Assalamu alaikum, sir. We're going to listen to a little Damien Escobar this morning as we're waiting for everybody to come into the room. Okay, here we go. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear this okay. Hopefully you can. Welcome, Nubia Flo, Brother Lamont, Ida Muhammad, welcome, Sister Aletha. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear Damien Escobar's violin, okay? Good morning. Welcome. We're fireside this morning. I won't wake y'all up too roughly this morning like I normally do. We're gonna just do this fireside this morning so you can see the fire burning. Just keep it cozy this morning, okay? So welcome to my home, welcome to my fireside. We're listening to Love Notes by Damien Escobar this morning. And we're gonna talk about preservation and what it means to us. Wa alaikum salam, sis. Oh, thank you, Sister Ida. Thank you, Mom. No, it did stop snowing. It snowed for like maybe 30 minutes. It didn't stick though because it was really warm, but it was definitely snowing. So come on in the room. Thank you to everyone who was on the master class this past Thursday. I really couldn't get a sense of how well it went because I was just really full with information that I wanted to share with you all. So I pray that you all got something out of it. My goal is for you to at least get one thing out of it that will help you be happier, healthier, and wealthier. Good morning, Brother Kevin. Assalamu alaikum. So we're fireside with a fire chat. So welcome to my home. This is one of the concepts that we, inshallah, will be able to do from the home of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. We'll just all sit around the fire and talk about concepts and film it and invite you in if you're not able to come and attend. Part of these fireside chats are to really help us to preserve information and just preserve that intimacy among us as family and friends. And so we're going to talk about that a little bit today. I wanted to remind you all, it's gift giving season. So if you want to give a gift to a family member, a friend, a relative, your children, the commemorative Elijah coins are a perfect gift for your friends and family. So you just go to sajdahhouse.com, use the discount code HEM4847, and you'll get the coin for just $375. So it's gift giving season, okay? And I think this is a good gift. We also came out this week with our He Lives beanies. A couple of you have already ordered yours, and so being that it was snowing yesterday, this is nice and warm and snuggly It's a fleece, layered fleece. It's actually black. It's super warm, and it's got, he lives in the Elijah Muhammad house on the front. So it's for men and women. I really was mainly thinking about the brothers as they're out soldiering. I wore mine yesterday, and I'll probably wear it today. I got some stuff to do. But I just think it's such a great accent to our winter wardrobe. So that's another great gift. And we'll be bringing out, we're starting with our Sajdah House, online gift shop items. So you'll start to see things. And if you're like me, I think it'll be really cool to collect. Yes, Sister Aletha, I saw you actually were the very first person to order. So it makes sense that my homegirl would be the first person to order, but you were the very first order. So that was Damien Escobar that we were listening to, and the song is called Love Notes. And I'm drinking my Mandela Masala Chai tea from Calabash Tea and Tonic. Y'all know I love my decaf chai. And she doesn't use a process to decaffeinate it. So she doesn't start with black tea and then try to decaffeinate it. What she does is she uses a rooibos base in her decaf, in the Mandela chai. So it's really, really, really beautiful. So I was inspired today to have a conversation about preservation. And it was interesting because this week, someone called me a preservationist. And I said, I see that. And not only do I see it, I like it. Because in preserving the former home of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, there's a spiritual process involved with working to uncover artifacts, bring something back to life, preserve it so that it lasts into the future, and tell the story of that preservation process as well. And so when they said, we want you to come and speak at this particular group as a preservationist, I was really honored and excited about being able to step into that vein. And so I was inspired to talk about that this morning, and how important it is for all of us to be preservationists. And I want to give you some context into why this is so important. We live in a world, or we used to live in a world, where information was limited, right? You had to know how to read, because there might be an in the encyclopedia and maybe, or a dictionary, and maybe you can't read the encyclopedia or the dictionary, so you couldn't get access to the information. We lived in a world where information was sparse based on race, based on sex. So it was very difficult for you to just get any information. So the only information that you were able to get was either word of mouth or something that came through divine inspiration. Okay. Then we moved into an era where I was just reading this, where it said that on a daily average, we intake as much as 74 gigabytes of information per day. That's the equivalent of watching 16 movies. That's through billboards and your tablets and your phones and your MacBooks and your iPads and social media, all the different ways in which you intake information, television. 74 gigabytes of information a day. That's the equivalent of 16 movies. Not to mention, even if you watch movies or you watch a show or you're reading or you're intentionally taking in some information, then you probably intake even more. And so I said, wow, what does that mean, that we've gone from information being limited, hidden in books, limited based on whether or not you had the skill set to access it, whether or not you had the ability to access it. What does that mean? What it means and what I see today, and I've been saying this, you all know I've been harping on this forever. What's happening now is the information that's coming to us is distorted. And so if the game in the past was to prevent access to information, and now that game has changed and there's more information than what we know to do with, more information than we could ever consume. You can't possibly consume all the information that's out there. So now you have this information overload that we're all dealing with. So where's the control? See, we still live in a predatory capitalist world. So the control has to remain there. And I think the control now is distorting and redirecting information so that now we can't discern truth from falsehood. It becomes very, very, very difficult to discern truth from falsehood. Since we can't discern truth from falsehood, how do we know what's real? And I started thinking about, well, what's the through line here? And before I say that, this also came to me. I was doing a little studying yesterday, and there was a psychologist and a scientist and a metaphysicist who were having like a talk, a chat, a panel. And they talked about how when you take risks, or when you stress, or when you push beyond your intellectual capacity, when you're afraid, anything that makes you get out of your comfort zone, in order for you to survive, your body unlocks past DNA that equips you to not only strive and thrive, but to extend to another level beyond what you could possibly have even thought of. And I said, that's interesting. So if somebody attacks you, somebody attacks me, all they're doing is unlocking generations, an eternity of DNA that is locked inside of us that says, I know how to survive. I know how to make it. I know how to overcome. I know how to win. And so the more people hurt you, or the more people stress you, or the more you press yourself, the more you're unlocking that DNA within yourself. It's why all of a sudden your adrenaline can just turn on and you can do something that you never thought you could do before if you allow it to turn on. So what's the through line here? Back in the day, information was limited by access, limited by skill level. The only way you could really get the truth is if you had some form of divine inspiration. And so you had women and men who were extremely divinely gifted back then, because that was their only source, or one of their only, or their primary source of information. The primary source of information was divine inspiration. Information that came in their mind and became instinctual and helped them to know what to do, how to survive, how to make it, so that we could be sitting here, right here, this very single day. And so that's the rush. This is the rush of information that came to me when somebody said, thank you for being a preservationist. And just that word unlocked this train of information flow that I had not thought about before. And I said, this is absolutely amazing that one experience, one thing can happen. And if we're relying on the divinity of the flow of information, if we're practicing the art of allowing, then we're unlocking DNA that's already programmed to supersede that 74 billion gigabytes of information that you and I consume every single day. So when we think about being a preservationist, when you preserve something, that means you're working to keep it. You're working to keep it in its state. You're working to maintain it. You're working to hold it in a particular position so that the experience of that preserved items will unlock the DNA of those who visit it. See, that's our goal with the Elijah Muhammad House. It's being sacredly restored and preserved. Why? Because we want you, through place-based education, whether you place yourself there virtually or you place yourself there physically, that experience of being in that preserved place will unlock DNA that is deep within you that connects with the truth that was built from that particular historic site. So when it unlocks, now you will leave and walk away from there being able to do things and have results in your life that you never even imagined. This is the power of preservation. And so now that we're in this information overload, people are taking over other folks' cultures. They're monetizing our culture, stealing hip hop, stealing jazz, stealing rock and roll. We don't own it anymore. And then what do? We continue to recreate, to evolve. What makes us continue to recreate and evolve? Why are we treasure chests of cultural experience that people can't get enough of? It's because of the abuse and the experiences that we've had that continue to unlock the spiritual DNA that's in us that allows us to recreate, reform, and become anew over and over and over again. And so what we want to do now is move into the space of preserving who we are. Preserving that information that comes up out of us. Right here in this chat today, we got billionaires. Why? And I don't mean to reduce you to $1 billion, because you're way more than $1 billion. But we got billionaires right here in this chat who have billion-dollar ideas, who have billion-dollar ideas stuck up in their DNA that just need them to get out of the safety zone in order for it to be released. See, when you're in your safety zone, you're in a box. You put that border around you. And so those billion-dollar ideas and experiences and survival mechanisms and culture creators and revolutionary ideas, they can't function in that little small box. They need you to get out of the box so that it can flourish. The world contains you, and the world is infinite. And so I'm asking us to practice that art of allowing and preserve who we are so that that information can easily flow through us. So when somebody said, we want you to speak because you're a preservationist, I gladly grasped a hold of that concept because I said, in me is the DNA of warriors, fighters, spiritualists, history makers, culture makers, healers, queens, kings, developers, inventors. That's up in my DNA, and that's up in your DNA. And so how do I unlock that? I got to get out of my comfort zone. I got to preserve this vessel just like we're preserving the vessel of the Elijah Muhammad house, so that the information can flow through us and through those edifices of these historic and iconic homes that we're preserving around the country. We want information to flow through so that when you show up there, whether you show up physically or virtually, when you show up in my presence, when I show up in your presence, the energy between us will unlock, right? Eons of DNA that will transform us overnight. See, that's the beauty of the clear message that we get from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. You can listen to 10 minutes of a speech from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and it will unlock and unleash something in you, and you will never, ever be the same. If you pick up your Bible and you read one paragraph from the words of Jesus, it can unleash and unlock something in you, and you will never be the same. But what happens? We're so used to throwing away that experience, because as soon as it comes out, somebody grabs it and they take it and they monetize it and they expand it. And what I'm saying to you is, let's preserve what comes out. It comes out, let's not throw it away. If you listen to that speech, if you read that passage, if you have a conversation, if you visit a historic space and something comes up out of you, if you went to the Million Man March and something came up out of you because of that extraordinary experience, I want you to preserve that and expand that and monetize that experience yourself. See, that's what preservation means to our culture. We're always flowing with information and ideas. You can go to our neighborhood and you can find somebody who's mentally ill, on drugs. It doesn't even matter. They're going to be able to sing, dance. They're going to have some wisdom. They're going to have some idea. They're going to be able to say something that will change your life. But we're just used to that. We're so used to being creative and powerful that I think we're just numb to it. We're so numb to it that we're constantly looking for somebody else to teach us who we are. We're looking for the information to come through these 74 gigabytes that's going to resurrect us, but the information is in us. And we have to begin by preserving ourselves and preserving who we are. And how do we do that? We have to preserve our mind. You see how difficult it is to preserve your mind. You got 74 billion gigabytes or 74 gigabytes worth of information that you consume every single day. That's the stuff that you consciously get in. What about all the things that you're exposed to that you don't know anything about? What is that doing? It's programming that flow of information I just talked about. It's programming that DNA. So when those new ideas and those new advances and those new ways of surviving and thriving and moving to that next level come up out of you, you will willingly give it away because you've been programmed to do so. And so the power of preservation means reprogramming ourselves so that we don't give ourselves away so readily and so easily. If, in fact, it is true that we are the great people that we've been told that we are, the original people, which we know that's true, see, we wouldn't still be here. After all the stuff we've been through, all the abuses that we've experienced here in America, even before we got to America, the abuse is absolutely unbearable. Unless there's something else. Unless there's something else. That's the only way we could still be here and still be beautiful and still be moving around and functioning. But what we have to do is we have to unlock that DNA of the survivors that gave birth to us. Unlock that DNA of the creators and the rulers by preserving the information they're hitting us with every single day. We get sparks of that information all the time. But we're so used to just giving it away. We're so used to letting somebody else have it. We're so used to saying, oh, I have this great idea, or I'm this amazing person. Let me go downtown and get a job and give my talents away. Let me just throw my new dance crazes on the internet, let other people have it. I can create something else. Because we abuse our own creativity, and it just flows through us. No matter how much we abuse it, no matter how much we give it away, it just flows. From the way we look, the way we vibe, everything about us. And you know what? Everybody around the world either wants to be us or wants to be with us, except us. So it's time for us all as individuals to be preservationists. Yes, Sister Aletha, a preservationist mindset. Now, what does that mean just right here in our personal life? Preserve your body. What kind of food are you intaking? See, with the Elijah Muhammad House, we use certain chemicals to clean it up. We had to fumigate because there were raccoons in there. We had to make sure that it was safe to be in. When we preserve the wood, we do that in a certain manner. So how do you preserve your body? How do you wash your face in the morning at night? You know, before I go to bed at night, it takes me 20 minutes just to get into bed. I got to do my face. I got to do my teeth. I got to take a shower. I treat the skin on my body the same as I do the skin on my face. It's a whole process because I want to preserve what Allah has given me. How do we preserve our mind? What are we doing with our minds? Are we intaking more than the 74 gigabytes of information? Are you guarding your mind? You know, if I'm talking to somebody and they're extremely negative and I can't change the subject and redirect it, I'll get off the phone. Or I'll walk away. Or I'll say, you know what? It's probably best that we have this conversation at another point in time. Why? Because I know that anything over 17 seconds of negativity is altering my DNA. I'm going to say that again. Anything over 17 seconds of negativity is altering your DNA and altering your mindset. That includes negativity that comes from outside of you and negativity that comes from the stuff you say to yourself. How do we alter our DNA? Well, we have to feed ourselves the right information. If you want to change your emotional state, I've been in a situation where I've been in a meeting and it's just been negative, or I've had a conversation with somebody who, when I run businesses, I'm not about the gloom and doom. Stuff comes, things happen, I deal with it, I use it as a lesson to learn. So you won't see me panicking and crying and losing my mind. I ran a healthcare facility for 12 years, and just about every week there was some attack against us. And I dealt with it. You know why? Because I allowed those experiences to unlock the DNA that is inside me that not only could overcome that, but could take us to that next level. And I take that mindset towards relationships, challenges in relationships, towards work that I do now as a consultant, as a preservationist, right? As a teacher and as a trainer. Always. What's going to unlock that God inside of me and let her just open up and introduce me to the magic that they already set up and set me up in front of. I used to have this saying when I was first starting out in business that I wanted to be the person that I needed to be so that I could get in front of the flow of cash. I wanted to get in front of some checks. And that was my mindset. Well, you know what? Now I want to get in front of that magic. I want to get in front of that God flow. I want to get in front of that flow of energy that comes from the God within me, that makes me more influential than I could ever imagine, more loving than I could ever imagine, more happy than I could ever imagine, more wealthy and abundant than I could ever imagine. I want to be in front of that flow. More gifts, more homes, more blessings than I could ever imagine. And then instead of going, I'm going to hold that, I want to share it with all my family and friends and ignite that in them as well. So together we're just popping off, right? We're just popping off all these godly treasures when we're around each other. So that's the mental preservation. Feeding myself. We also have to make sure that as a people, we have a base of truth. If you know me, my basis of truth is Islam, as taught by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. That's my through line. That's my base for survival, my base for civilization. That's my base for conduct. That's my treasure chest. I'm a student of Master Fard Muhammad. So that's my base. Everybody doesn't have that base. Everybody doesn't believe in that base. But you got to find a base of information, so that when these 74 gigabytes of information is coming at you every single day, you have a reference point. You got some place you can go and say, let me look this up. Let me see if this makes sense. How does that resonate with the truth that's within me? We also have to be in tune with our body and our emotions. I encourage everyone to work on their emotional fitness so that they can figure out, what are my emotions telling me right now? Because your emotions are not always saying to you to run and crouch down in a corner and be safe. See, it's almost like every energy other than elation we describe as fear. See, energy comes to us all the time. There's energy that's flowing through you as I'm sitting here in front of this fire talking to you. When that energy comes to you, it comes to you in a way, but it's something before you name it. But what we've been taught through these 74 gigabytes of information that come to us, that anything that is not defined by the makers and the writers of that 74 gigabytes is fear, or it's wrong. But I want to challenge you. When you feel something bubble up in your body, don't automatically think this is fear, this is a problem. Don't even try to label it. Don't label it. Don't label it as happy. Don't label it as sad. Don't label it as love. Don't label it as fear. Don't label it as anxiety. Don't do anything. Just sit with it. Just sit with it. Whatever energy comes to you, don't go, ooh, I just got scared. Just sit with it. And when you sit with it and you don't label it, then you don't make decisions and choices that are wrong, and you don't dull that emotional flow that our study guides call the God within. You don't silence the God within, but see, you silence it when you immediately give it a label. Don't label it. Let it come in. Let it flow. Don't call it anything. Just flow with it. Just let it go. And then you will see that your DNA will tell you what to do with that flow. It'll tell you. It'll tell you if you need to go back that way, or it'll tell you if you need to go this way. It'll tell you if you don't need to do anything. It'll tell you if you just need to sit with it. It will tell you, but stop labeling it. You get that feeling in your heart that you normally would call love, that feeling in your heart that you normally would call hate, that feeling in your body that you might normally call fear. Don't label it. Let it come in. And then you will see that you have so many colors of energy and vibration that come through you. And your DNA is infinite. Your DNA is from God, from the Creator. And now that Creator can say, aha, all that I've put together to produce this person and all of the people that got together that produced this person, that produced the next person, that produced the next person, that produced the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one, that produced you, all have experiences that you can benefit from. But the authors of this 74 billion, or these I don't know why I keep calling it 74 billion, these 74 gigabytes of information want you to shut off your infinite DNA and your connection to source. It wants to cut you off from that. It wants to cut you off from the clear message that is being given to you. See, because we can't think right, we get this clear message. The clear message comes into us through these great men, right? We get this clear message, and what do? The message comes in, it creates a reaction, and we label it. And so now we cut it off. So we could sit there and listen to the clear message for years and years and have only that much change in our life. In the clear message are instructions and guidance for us that will unlock who and what we really and truly are. If we stop using the utilitarian method of thinking that is given to us by the technology of this world. And we've talked about that before. And in these last couple of minutes, I just want to say, and I said this a little bit in the master class, stop looking at everything as if you can use it. See, that's part of why we label our emotions like that. We label the energy that comes in because the world has taught us label it and use it. It's like a business, right? Label it, package it, and use it. So this world we live in, they see a bird and they go, oh, we can use that bird. They see a cow and they say, we can use that cow. They see you and say, we can use him. We can use her. Right? That's what happens. What that does is it cuts you off. So what you want to do when you're listening to the clear message, when you're moving through life, you're going to get these energetic feelings that are come up in you, but stop labeling them. Because the minute you label them, you start panicking. You start doing things that you will later regret. You start cutting yourself off from divine relationships that your DNA has set you up for. Stop labeling it. That way you won't panic. See, when you label your emotions, when you label the energy, you put a label on it, now you start making choices and decisions based on not the energy, but on the label that you put on the energy. All right, so I hope I was inspired. That was in me all day yesterday to talk to you all about that. And so I pray that it's been helpful and it will continue to be helpful for somebody. Thank you for coming to my home virtually, enjoying the fire with me this early morning. As the sun begins to come up, we start our day with being preservationists and preserving the energy that flows through us and preserving it by not labeling it, but allowing it to change us and help us to be who we are, so that when people come to us, just like when you come to the Elijah Muhammad house, whether you come physically or virtually, just the experience will transform and unlock something in your DNA that will help you to become happier, healthier, wealthier, experience more love, and more responsive to the clear message. So don't forget, it's gift giving season. Give your commemorative Elijah coins to loved ones for the season. Most of y'all gonna spend more than $375 on gifts. Give them a piece of history. Give them something that's going to uplift them. And We got these triple fleece black, really warm and beautiful. There we go. Commemorative. I call it commemorative. It's not really commemorative, but souvenir. He lives. Beanies. I'm gonna wear this today. I think I got some running around to do. I'm gonna wear this today. But go to the link is in my bio where you can get you one of these. We got some other cool things coming. Get you one. Keep your head warm. It was snowing a little bit yesterday, right? So thank you all. Thank you. Look, I got a song for us as we go. We're ending a little bit early, so we probably can listen to a whole song together just to kind of help calibrate ourselves. I played this song for you guys before. It's one of my favorite songs. It's called That's What Love Is by Sarah Divine. And we'll just play a few minutes of it. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear it. But it's all about love. Happier, healthier, wealthier, and experiencing more love. All right, get your He Lives fleece hat. Keep your head warm for the winter. Stop labeling every piece of energy that comes to you. Be mindful of them 74 gigabytes of information that's coming into your mind. And be a preservationist. Preserve your body. Preserve your mind. Preserve the love around you. Preserve your family members. Preserve your home. Preserve your relationships. Preserve your culture. Preserve yourself. Long live Muhammad. Just a few minutes of this. This is one of my favorite songs. Sometimes the moment carries me too far away. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you so much. And my commitment to you. You're welcome, Brother Jamil. Let me see who we got on here. My All 731, Patience and Peace 19, Thousands Black Tax Prep Service. Got Brother Jamil. Say something in the chat so I can see your name and shout you out. I know that love is more than emotional. The Financial Architect 555, Sister Alika, Point Praise 2. Love is more than emotional. Oh, that's what love is. Brother Lamont, Nubia La Flo, Mimi, hey mom. Love is patience when you're running out. It's kindness I can do without. Love is more than I can do on my own. Okay, Kelly, Realtor Kevin Trucking. Rocks 28X. I see y'all snapping the fingers for me. Y'all know I can't do it. Wanna share it with you. It's what you do. Snap your fingers for me. I can't hear y'all, but I know y'all snapping. Y'all know my mom can really snap her fingers loud. She's like, Pop, I never could do it. It's what you do. Oh, there you go, I be doing me. Where you get that from? I be doing me. I like that. Love in my heart in my hand. Take it if you can. Love is more than emotional. Okay, I'm gonna let y'all go. Enjoy your Saturday. Make sure that when the energy is coming to you, that you're not labeling it, just let it come in. Don't go, ooh, I feel scared. And preserve your body. Watch your diet. Make sure you exercising. Y'all know I swam a whole mile yesterday. I'm so proud of myself. Love is. And love one another. Love yourself. Love, love, love. That's the superpower. Let me tell you. That's the superpower. Okay. Peace and blessings, family. I love you all very much. Stay tuned. Stay close to social media. Make sure you join the Sajdah Circle of Winners so that you can get information about upcoming events and all that good stuff. And be sure to get your commemorative Elijah coin. If you already got one, get another one. We need your support. We on the home stretch. We got to get cash flow. We almost there. Peace and blessings. And I can't wait for you all to experience it because it's going to help you unlock some of that dormant DNA that's up inside of you. Peace and blessings.